The weather on our planet is not just rain, sunshine, and snow. In different corners of the Earth, incredibly rare and strange phenomena occur, so unusual that it's hard to believe without proof. Here are 20 of the most astonishing natural phenomena that defy imagination. First, fire whirlwinds. What it is: a swirling vortex of fire forming during large wildfires. How it forms: hot air rises rapidly, twisting along with the flames. Fact: these fire tornadoes can reach heights of up to 50 meters and rotation speeds of up to 160 kilometers per hour. Second, blue lightning.
What it is: bright blue flashes shooting upward from clouds.
How it forms: when charged particles are ejected into the upper layers of the atmosphere. Fact: almost impossible to see from the ground. They're captured only by special cameras from aircraft. Third, frost flowers. What it is: thin, delicate ice petals forming on plant stems. How it forms: water is pushed out of the stem and instantly freezes in cold air. Fact: true frost flowers appear at temperatures around -5 to -10 degrees Celsius. Fourth, blood rain. What it is: rain-colored crimson or rusty brown. How it forms: desert dust gets into rain clouds and colors the raindrops. Fact: this happens in Europe, South America, and India. In the past, it was seen as an ominous sign. Fifth, light pillars. What it is: vertical columns of light in the sky. How it forms: light reflects off tiny ice crystals suspended in the air. Fact: visible at temperatures below -10 degrees Celsius, especially in cities due to streetlights. Sixth, fire rainbows. What it is: horizontal glowing bands in fiery shades. How it forms: light refracts in hexagonal ice crystals of high-altitude clouds. Fact: visible only when the sun is high, at least 58 degrees above the horizon. Seventh, ball lightning. What it is: a glowing sphere floating in the air during a thunderstorm. How it forms: scientists still debate it, possibly due to electromagnetic fields. Fact: some ball lightning can enter buildings and even move inside rooms. Eighth, sea fog. What it is: a dense mist rolling over the water. How it forms: cold air suddenly covers warm water, creating a steam-like effect. Fact: commonly seen in Norway, Canada, and the Arctic. Ninth, ice crystals. What it is: tiny ice crystals sparkling in the air. How it forms: occurs at temperatures below -20 degrees Celsius from supercooled moisture in the air. Fact: they can create light pillars and icy fog. 10th, sandstorms. What it is: a giant wall of sand moving across the desert. How it forms: strong winds lift and carry tons of sand. Fact: Sahara dust sometimes reaches as far as South America and the Caribbean. 11th, mammatus clouds. What it is: clouds shaped like hanging bubbles. How it forms: caused by turbulence and moisture in the lower cloud layers. Fact: often appear before strong thunderstorms or tornadoes. 12th, fata morgana. What it is: an optical mirage where objects appear stretched or inverted. How it forms: due to light bending in air layers of different temperatures. Fact: commonly seen in deserts or above the sea. 13th, blue jets. What it is: lightning bolts shooting upward from the tops of clouds. How it forms: when positive and negative charges collide within a thunderstorm. Fact: they soar up to 50 kilometers above the ground. 14th, hail the size of a ball. What it is: massive chunks of ice falling from the sky. How it forms: water droplets are repeatedly lifted and frozen in a storm cloud. Fact: the largest hailstone ever recorded weighed 1.02 kilograms and fell in Bangladesh. 15th, lunar rainbow. What it is: a rainbow that appears at night by the light of the moon. How it forms: the same way as a daytime rainbow, but it glows much dimmer. Fact: best seen near waterfalls or on coastlines during a full moon. 16th, purple clouds. What it is: the sky painted in a vivid purple hue. How it forms: due to the refraction and scattering of sunlight at sunset or in the atmosphere after rain. Fact: sometimes appears before storms or tsunamis. 17th, blowing snow. What it is: snow lifted by wind from the ground, forming a dense veil. How it forms. When strong wind blows over loose snow on the surface. Fact, can reduce visibility to 0. 18th, iridescent clouds. What it is, clouds shimmering in soft pastel rainbow colors. How it forms. Light refracts through tiny water droplets or ice crystals. Fact, best seen near the sun. 19th, dust devils. What it is, small whirlwinds of dust and sand like mini tornadoes. How it forms. Hot air rapidly rises, twisting dust into a spinning column. Fact, usually rise between 5 and 50 meters high. 20th, sun halos. What it is, light rings or halos around the sun or moon. How it forms. Light refracts in ice crystals in high-altitude clouds. Fact, often appear before weather changes. Conclusion. The weather is full of mysteries and astonishing phenomena. What seems like fantasy is actually scientifically explainable and real. Many of these marvels might be happening right now somewhere on the other side of the planet.